In a battlefield shrouded in smoke and gunfire, where death lurked at every turn, a tiny soul etched its name into history. Amid the roar of bullets and the thunder of bombs, a small Yorkshire Terrier named Smokey trotted on its tiny paws, not just as a companion to soldiers, but as a hero the world would never forget. This is the tale of a little warrior who kept the flame of hope alive even in the fires of war. Smokey's story didn't start in a breeder's kennel or with a soldier's family, but in the jungles of New Guinea in 1944. An American soldier discovered her in an abandoned foxhole. She was dirty, hungry, and alone. No one knew where she came from. Despite efforts to find her owner, no one claimed her, and she wasn't a military dog. Perhaps she was once a civilian pet, somehow lost in the chaos of war. She was sold to Corporal William A. Wynne, a U.S. Army Air Force's aerial photographer, for £2 about $6.50 at the time, and a can of Australian beer. Thus began a legendary partnership. Smokey quickly became Wynne's constant companion. She shared his rations, his tent, and his dangers. Over the next 2 years, Smokey flew on dozens of combat missions and survived 150 air raids in the Pacific. Despite her small size, she adapted effortlessly to the soldier's life, becoming a beloved mascot for the troops. She even learned tricks taught by Wynne during rare moments of calm, her intelligence and obedience later proving to be life-saving. Smokey's most iconic wartime feat occurred during the Luzon campaign in the Philippines. American engineers needed to run a critical telegraph wire through a 70-foot-long, 8-inch-wide pipe beneath an airstrip. Digging a trench would have exposed men to enemy fire and taken days. Wynne had an idea: tying the wire to a string and attaching it to Smokey's collar. He sent her into the narrow, dark pipe, calling her from the other end. Smokey crawled through the tight, shadowy tunnel, dragging the wire behind her. The mission succeeded. Thanks to her, the communication line was laid in minutes instead of days, without risking a single life. The commanding officer reportedly said, "Smokey is a soldier of the highest order." Beyond her heroic deeds, Smokey played another vital role: lifting spirits. When soldiers were homesick, wounded, or broken, Smokey was there to cheer them up. She performed tricks, snuggled with the injured, and brought comfort where it was scarce. She visited wounded soldiers in hospitals long before therapy dogs were recognized, and nurses and doctors marveled at the joy she brought to recovering troops. After the war, Smokey returned to the United States with Wynne, smuggled in his duffel bag. Back home, her fame soared. She performed on TV shows and in hospitals, even sporting her own tiny parachute for demonstrations. Her story appeared in newspapers, cementing her status as a true war hero. In 2001, decades after her death in 1957, Smokey was honored with a bronze statue at Cleveland Metroparks in Ohio, titled Smokey and the Boy. It depicts her sitting in a soldier's helmet, a tribute to her courage and her unbreakable bond with Wynne. Smokey's story is more than just a tale of a dog. It's about a force that shone like a beacon in the darkest times. Her tiny paws didn't just pull wires through a battlefield. They stitched together the hearts of soldiers. Today, as we gaze at her statue, we're reminded that a true hero never bows to fear, no matter how small they are. Smokey's echo lives on in history, a little warrior who proved that courage knows no size.